Good morning, brave heroes, and welcome back to the channel. I am Amalgam Ash, and today I'm finally going to play DungeonQuest. DungeonQuest was brought to us by Games Workshop in 1987. It's originally known as Drakborgen, published by Alga in Sweden, or Dragon's Castle. The game got a reprint in 2009 from Fantasy Flight Games, and I've played that quite a bit, but I found that I just can't get away from the classic aesthetic of the 80s, late 80s / early 90s fantasy days of Games Workshop, and that of course includes DungeonQuest. And so, all that said, I'd like to get started with a proper playthrough series of the game. I have a video that introduces exactly kind of what this game is and somewhat how it is played, but today I will be journeying to the center of Castle Dragonfire or attempting to journey to the center of Castle Dragonfire. More likely I will die horrible, horrible death and slowly, but we shall see exactly how that pans out. My intent is to do one video for each of the really 12 heroes, although 4 come with the base game and 12 come with the Heroes of Dungeon Quest game. 4 of those Heroes of Dungeon Quest expansion heroes are mechanically similar, mechanically identical to the 4 from the base game, with the exception of, I believe the Ranger has 1 less life point, which is very bizarre, but it is what it is. We will be playing with the Catacombs expansion installed and no cards removed. So we're playing on full difficulty mode, and so far I've cataloged that I have completed this game, gotten into the dungeon and out with a measure of gold pieces with everyone except Rohan. And while I do plan on doing videos for everybody, I will start today with Rohan. Here's our character card for Sir Rohan the Knight. He's got a strength of 6, an agility of 4, armor of 9, and luck of 4. We will need to roll above or below those various stats during gameplay. And here is Sir Rohan's miniature. We'll start in the corner room of Castle Dragonfire, one of the 4 available rooms. The game facilitates 1 to 4 players. Our goal is to draw random room tiles, hopefully building a path that is very straightforward and concise and danger-free to the center of Castle Dragonfire, where we hope not to wake the dragon that slumbers within the treasure chamber. I have most of the cards that I will need to draw throughout the course of the game here in view of the camera. Rest assured, I have shuffled all of the decks. I'm not going to be cheesing anything here, and the reason that I wouldn't be interested in doing that anyway is because while it can be a bit of a boast, I guess, to actually win the game, it's far more fun to just die horribly and slowly. So let us begin. The first thing I'm going to do is draw a room tile and move to this space right here to the left. And I'll draw my room tiles at random out of this sort of sideways stack that I have going on in the box. The base game tiles and Catacombs tiles pretty much line up perfectly alongside the side there. And just one more note before I set this tile down and truly begin the game. I would like to thank Always Bored, Never Boring for providing me the inspiration to do board game Let's Plays. It turns out that people like to see that stuff, and for whatever reason, they like to see me playing games. So that sort of thing makes me feel good and feels like this whole endeavor has got some reward to it. So if you enjoy this video, you don't have to do anything right now. You can wait until the very end. If you did end up liking it, I hope you will consider liking the video, engaging, commenting whatever you'd like down below, suggestions, hints, questions, concerns, and so on, and maybe even subscribing to the channel if you like this sort of content. Now, onward. Foolish heroes. The very first tile I land on is a trap, indicated by the red arrow and the skull and crossbones picture. Stepping over the arrow into the trap room, it's time to draw a trap. And the first trap is a trap door. I have to roll my agility score or less on a d12. My agility is 4, so this is going to suck. And I actually rolled a 1 on my d12. That was the first turn of the game, and now I am going to advance the Sun Tracker token and continue onward. Since I have the option, I'm going to go ahead and route myself upwards. This is a normal room. But normal does not mean not dangerous. We draw a room card now. And it is a trap door. Oh! A second trapdoor in as many turns. I have to, yet again, hopefully roll my agility score or lower on the d12. I, astonishingly, have dodged a second trapdoor. One thing's for certain, when I leave this dungeon, I'm not going to come back out this way, if I have a choice. We've moved the Sun Tracker down one more space. And now I'm going to attempt to go to the next space. I'm hoping for a corridor tile, which will have a yellow entrance arrow. But instead, I receive a portcullis. Portcullis is essentially a trapped room in which a gate flies down behind me as I enter. I'm going to need to pass a strength check if I want to lift this gate on my way out. But for now, I can take a room card as normal, the only exception being between this and any other kind of normal room is if I draw a monster, I cannot choose to escape that monster. And I have drawn the giant spider. There are a couple of different things I can do here in response to having drawn the giant spider. I can flee, well, but that's not an option this time around, so I have to fight. So I'm going to pick 3 numbers out loud and roll a d6. And if I roll one of the numbers I picked, I will have killed the spider. If not, I'll lose 1 LP from the spider's bite, and I will resume another round of combat. I didn't choose my numbers. My numbers shall be 1, 4, and 5. We have a 50% chance of getting any given number. If you name out 3, it's a 6. I thus lose my first LP of the game to the bite of the giant spider. Now, after being bitten by the spider, my turn is actually over, so we have to move the Sun Tracker down again. And this time, if it's a 2, 3, or 4, I will have killed the spider. It's a 6 again. I lose another LP from the bite of the spider. I imagine Sir Rohan mightily swinging his axe and putting his all behind each swing, only to vastly misjudge the position of the spider, or at least where it's going to be in advance of its attack. So, once more, 2, 3, or 5. And I will slay this spider, and I did on the roll of a 2. The spider is dead. Now that turn is over, and I move the Sun Tracker down 1. Not the most productive start, but we're not dead yet, so I'll move into the next room. To the left. Finally, a normal room. But again, normal doesn't mean not dangerous. We draw a room card. And now we have vampire bats. They're going to deal damage of d6 minus 2. That is all. They come in, they swoop, they bite, and they leave. I've been dealt 2 damage from the vampire bats. Alright. I'm going to advance the Sun Tracker. This time, turn my attentions northward. And I've walked into yet another trap room. This is fantastic. I put the trap cards up here because I figure I wouldn't have to draw from them very often. This is simply an explosion. I'm going to lose 4 LPs and miss a turn. Somebody has gone through this castle, set a bunch of traps with no intent of actually looting it, fighting monsters, getting any sort of glory, and left as soon as they could. Perhaps they came in and threw the traps across down the corridors, not minding where they land. I miss a turn, so that means I'm going to move the sun tracker twice. I will take Sir Rohan to the center room. I will move north. And in doing so, a T-shaped room. Could be normal, or I could walk into a Chaos Warrior. It is a sneak attack, and it is actually, I think this is a mountain troll. And I must roll a d12 and subtract my luck. I've got a luck of 4, so if I roll a 4 or less, I'm in great shape. It's a 5, which I'll take for sure. The sneak attack only reduces my health by 1. Combat will now resume. I need to choose whether to wait and see or attack. And I'm going to... No, actually, he found me, so it's attack or escape. I'm not going to escape. Sir Rohan's no coward. And besides that, I hate the fallback from escaping, or the possibility of getting attacked in the back while running away. I'm going to draw the monster card, and we're going to carry out the instructions on the attack portion. An attack. The very top, got a list of 5 monsters. One of those is the mountain troll, and this is combat, 2 LPs. We'll set the monster's health to 2 LPs, and now we will carry out solo combat against the mountain troll. To do this, I must roll the d12. For solo combat, you roll a d12 per bout of combat, and if you roll a 1, 2, or 3, the monster hits you and you lose an LP. On the roll of a 4, 5, or 6, you and the monster hit each other and you each lose an LP. And on the roll of a 7, 8, or 9, you hit the monster. If you roll a 10, you will hit the monster for 2 LPs. And 11 and 12 are rerolls. So, let's hope that we roll a 10. We rolled a 7. That takes the monster's health down by 1 and my health down by 1. I will definitely take a 7. I'd like an 8, 9, or 10. No, I'm sorry. It's 7, 8, 9 that takes the monster's health down by 1, and I'm safe. Momentary lapse of judgment. I'm safe. That was a good bout of combat. It's time for another. Hopefully equally successful. And it's a 6. With a 6, we both lose an LP, but the mountain troll is dead. Long die the mountain troll. You'll notice I'm putting the cards I'm done with over here rather than shuffling back under their respective decks as instructed. It doesn't make a difference right now because I'm the only player, and it's very unlikely that I'm going to reach the bottom of any given deck. But if I do, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Now, the sun tracker goes down by 1 and it's almost halfway out. We need to get to that center room and start looting for treasure. So I'm going to move space to the left. Luckily, it's just a normal room. This time, white arrow, so I draw a room card. And it's a crypt. Now, with crypts, we get the option to search them. And I will search this crypt. We draw from the crypt deck. And it's empty. This was basically a room with no risk. This time. The sun tracker goes down by 1, and I'm now going to resume my trek north. It's a cave-in. The dragon's hoard is so close, I can smell the gold. I can take a room card as normal for a cave-in, but I'm going to have to roll a d12 on my next turn and figure out if I'm going to go back or forth or get trapped. So that's going to be an ordeal. But for now, the room is otherwise empty, thank goodness. We move the sun tracker down another space, and I will decide to roll the d12 and hopefully roll my agility score or less to take my turn as normal and go up. That is my hope. My agility is still 4, so I can only roll 1 through 4. On a 12-sided die, I've got a 33% chance of getting out of here without losing a turn. That is an 8, although it has been partially damaged. The 3 is right next to it. That is an 8. I did not roll my agility, and I'm trapped. I'll try again. That is an 8. I became trapped again. That is a 5. Trapped again. I don't remember if I moved the sun tracker. I'll just move it. And then roll a 4. We're a bit on the edge, but I'm going to take it. And I'm going to move upwards. At this point, that room is adjacent to the treasure room, but there is no door to link the two. So there's nothing I can do at this point but try my best to retreat and hope that I can get a number of corridor cards on my way out. We've got to draw a room card though, and it's a cave-in. The cave-in card is different from the cave-in tile. I've got to pick a number on the d6. If I roll the number that I pick, I'm caught in the cave-in and I'm immediately killed. I rolled a few 6s, so I think the odds are I won't roll a 6. So I'm choosing a 6. A 1. I have not been killed by the cave-in. But I do have to roll the d6 again and lose that many life points. What a bummer. That's a 5. I'm down to 2 life points left. Now, the one thing that I did not do at the beginning of this game was choose a ring. And because I'm using the Heroes of Dungeon Quest expansion, I should choose a ring at random. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to basically just choose one of these ring tokens at random. Try my best to not looking at any of them, and just I'm going to count to 5, and then that's going to be the one I pick. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's 5. It is the Ring of Transformation. This ring affects the very walls and floors of Dragonfire Castle. You may use it if you draw a room tile you do not want. Return the tile to the box and draw another, but you must accept the second tile you draw. So I could use my Ring of Transformation, but I think I'm good for now. I was hoping to get the Ring of Healing. We have to advance the sun tracker again and continue our trek. This time we're just going to flee. We are fleeing Dragonfire Castle. Another portcullis room. One of the most accursed runs I've had yet, with traps and portcullises blocking my every movement. This room also has a door that we could attempt to go through, but I think I'm just going to make my way through the path of least resistance. But anyways, we've got to deal first with snotlings. Oh no. No. I can't change the effects of this draw. It's too late. I should have, when I very first drew the portcullis, I would have gotten the snotlings even if it had been a normal room though. If it had been any room with a white arrow, that's the same card I would have drawn. we've got snotlings to take care of now. In my very first run with Sir Rohan for the channel. One of the stone slabs in the room flips open and a screaming horde of snotlings rushes out and attacks you. Take the snotling counters and put them beside your character sheet, then roll the d10 and the d6. Total them and take snotling counters to that value. Adventurers, I have a d6 and a d10 here, and I'm going to roll them both, hoping to get low numbers. I got a 3 and a 4, which is not ideal, as it's kind of almost the average roll, but we take 7 snotlings. I am currently in combat with 7 snotlings, and I only have 2 life points left, and a ring of transformation that I cannot use, and no other special abilities, just being Sir Rohan. I must now fight them. I will roll the d10 to see how many I kill in the first round of combat, and if there are still any left, I will lose 2 LPs. Then roll the d6 again to see how many extra snotlings join the fight. So, I can hope to roll a 7, 8, 9, or 0 on this 10-sided dice and wipe out all of the snotlings in one fell swoop. If I can do that, it means that Sir Rohan is actually a skilled knight that could live up to his name. If I can't, it means that this Sir Rohan is a fraud. A knight in fake name only. Somebody who has drawn caricatures of himself in full plate armor to put up on posters around town trying to sell his services to anybody dumb enough to employ him. This Sir Rohan better be real. Killing 2 of the snotlings, there are 5 left, and the 5 snotlings on the very first round of snotling combat reduced my 2 remaining life points to none, killing me. In the interim, more snotlings did join the fight, a total of 4, and while that doesn't matter now, I thought it would just be poignant, since they were supposed to crowd into the room. A total of 9 snotlings gloats over my corpse as they rummage through my belongings, fighting amongst one another for the cheap imitation metal that makes up the false Sir Rohan's armor, the perhaps precursor historically to plastic sword that this Sir Rohan carries with him in his faux leather sheath. This Sir Rohan met a deserved end after nimbly, at least, dodging 2 trapdoors as soon as entering Dragonfire Castle. But for now, that is the end of his adventure. And that is the end of my very first Dungeon Quest playthrough. Please let me know what you thought, and I hope you have a much better day than Sir Rohan did. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.